Welcome to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers with Linda Prio. Will it be possible to remain in my home as I age? Do I feel safe in my home? How do I figure out how much support I will need when my health needs start to change? What if I decide to move into a community instead? Which community will meet my needs now and in the future? Who will play a role in helping me with decision making? Do you ask yourself these same questions? Aging in Place Strategies and Answers can help you gain practical knowledge that will help you create your own Aging in Place roadmap. If you are already a care partner, a power of attorney, or in crisis mode with your Aging in Place strategy, you will learn what you need to know that you don't know. For over 20 years, I have been marketing Aging in Place services to clients and educating families and healthcare professionals in how to put aging in place strategies into place. When you utilize aging in place, you are allowed to choose where you want to live and make those decisions so that you can retain your quality of life. Welcome back to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers. And today we are continuing our conversation with Stephanie Parson, a broker with Keller Williams Real Estate. Now, Stephanie is also a certified senior housing professional, which is a special designation. And you can find a specialist in your area if you're not in the St. Louis market. But these advisors have gone through extra training and extra testing and have learned how to work with seniors, the concerns that seniors have, but also how to recommend other living options that could help a senior to age well. So continue listening to our conversation today, and we're going to be discussing some concerns that seniors usually have, and some items that Stephanie has identified in her years of experience. Plus, she's also going to give us some outlooks for 2025 and what you could be seeing in the real estate market. First, a word from our sponsor.
At Family Partners Home, we help residents maintain dignity while promoting well-being. Residents receive 24/7 supervision and care in a home-like setting in assisted living homes that are located in residential neighborhoods. Each home is a single-family home designed and built specifically for those with dementia. For more information about Family Partners Home, 314-686-4468, online at familypartnershome.com. It feels like home. It is a home.
Thank you to our sponsors. Let's return to the show. So now I understand that as an agent, you work with a wide demographic of people, but and you have this special designation when working with seniors. You love seniors. I love seniors. I am a senior. So I just want to hear from you.
Me too.
I just want to hear from you. What are some of the common concerns and issues that seniors have when you actually get to meet with them and talk with them about a potential move?
Yeah. So I was thinking about different scenarios that I frequently encounter. And one of them that came to mind is that I've been contacted several times by homeowners who are seniors, and they, we talk about what their goals are and why I'm there. And they say something like, I don't really want to move. My family is pressuring me. They think I need to move. And so I asked the questions like, well, why do they feel that way? And then saying, are you comfortable in your home? can you live here safely? Can you navigate through the home okay? You have everything that you need. Um, can you afford it? Can you afford to maintain it so
Yes.
that the asset holds its value? Are you happy living here? Um, because how I operate is that I'm not there to force them to sell their home. And a lot of times people don't know what the different options are. So maybe it is, well, yes to all of those things, but my laundry's in the basement. Okay. Well, let's talk about what we can do about that. Can we relocate it to the first floor? Can you hire it out? Can you do a stair lift? What are some of the things that we can talk about changing with this situation that will keep you in your home where you ultimately want to be? Um, Being a senior myself, I still have two living parents. And I understand that sometimes, the family is concerned for safety. And that's something that I think people also need to acknowledge, that most of the time families are actually coming from because they have concern and they care for their family and they don't want to worry. And worrying is something that is wearing on your family if they don't think that you're safe where you're at. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I had a fall in the fall. I had a fall and broke a
Yeah.
little bone in my foot, and so getting up and down the stairs, I'm like, how long are we going to stay here? Am I going to be able to do the stairs well as I continue to age? Those
Hmm.
are real concerns. And
Hmm.
and visiting with other folks that I know, I heard of people who had fallen down the stairs and it was didn't end well. So
Yeah.
those concerns are real. And when I talk about aging in place, Stephanie, as you know, is that we are talking about maintaining the property, being able to navigate your property inside. Is the home
Hmm.
safe to navigate? And then safety. You don't want to live in an unsafe. And do you feel
You
safe?
feel safe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's more to just, I want to stay at home than that. So it's nice when you, as a professional, go in and just are very honest as a third person who can have that
Hmm.
conversation. Love that.
Hmm. Yeah. And I don't think, a lot of times people are very, I'm not moving. They're going to take me out feet first.
Yes,
Um, because they love their home and it's what they know, but they also don't know what the other options are.
correct.
And so to be able to get them thinking, oh, you know what? We understand that, you love your home. You raised your family here, you feel safe, you're comfortable, all your things are here. But, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Is the home a burden like you talked about? Maybe leasing is a better option. Maybe they are struggling financially to be able
Yes,
to, pay the taxes and utilities on it.
yes,
So what are the other options out there? Are they lonely? Um, and so there's different types of ownership for different types of floor plans and living. So it could be renting, it could be moving into a different style of property. And it could be totally going into some type of, community living where, it's more leisurely, but you get the benefit of having people around so that you are supported and don't get lonely and can still stay involved and engaged.
yeah, and
Um,
to
so,
and to get out, because we had a St. Louis storm here that has really been around now for over 2 weeks.
Mhm.
with temperatures, And I always told people that had moved into independent living, they're like, I don't know if I'm going to like it here. I said, as soon as that first snowstorm comes and you don't have to worry about getting it out because everybody's already salted the property, or you can go get breakfast. And I mean, you're going to be so happy, right? When
Yeah.
that first
Yeah.
big snow happens, like we just had,
Yeah.
and you've got instant people to talk to.
Yeah. That kind of brings up a interesting situation that I recently experienced is my husband, his birthday's today. Happy birthday, honey.
Happy
Turned
birthday.
60, and he just had a hip replacement. And we live on an acre and a half. We have an extremely long elevated driveway. Now, he's always plowed that with a tractor. And oh, we had all this snow. So I was like, how am I going to get out? How am I to work if he can't plow it? You
Yes.
know? So I felt very, I was very worried. And I'm like, who do I call? What do I need to do? I'm
Right.
not going to be able to get out. What happens now? So I kind of got that feeling of, wow, if I really was a senior and I just, you know, I needed to go, um, you know, this is something that I would have to call somebody and have it dealt with. So anyway, it all worked out, but it made me think about, people who are in their homes that don't have a ready, willing, able-bodied person or who has the
Right.
right equipment to do it for
Yeah,
you.
it
So
brings it brings it very up close and personal. One
yeah.
of the thoughts I have as we move forward is you see the price of real estate and generally what your house is worth. And I've said this statement more in the last year than I've ever said it, but I said I totally understand why seniors get stuck now. Stuck in their
Oh,
house
uh-huh.
because of the cost of new real estate and what their current
Oh,
value of their house is. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
well, sure. I mean, I think a lot of people can really be shocked about how much the value of their home has gone up because we've had some pretty big appreciation years. It has most recently leveled off, though,
Mhm.
going back to more of a normal market in that regard. Um, but a lot of times people have price sticker shock. They think that, okay, I need to downsize. And they think that that also means that they're going to be able to buy a property that's going to cost less than what their property is worth because it's smaller.
Right.
Um, and that is not the case. So finding out what the ultimate goal is for somebody, not even, any client who says, I want to make a move. Well, what's the end goal here? Why are you going to be able to achieve that? Because sometimes it may not be the right time to do it because you're
Hmm.
not going to be able to ultimately reach the goal that you have. Um, Linda, I want to comment on probably the number one reason why I find that seniors don't make a move, that even those that don't want to make a move, but those that really do want to make a move, is that they don't know what to do with all of their stuff.
Ugh.
So we're in the US, we're big consumers and we have basements here in the Midwest and we like to fill the space that we have. And as we age, we can't physically do as much. Even, myself at, 60 years old, I can't do what I did when I was 45 years old. It's going to take me longer and it's going to be harder on me to do it. And it's very daunting for people and they feel stuck and they
Yes.
don't know what to do. And therefore they don't do anything. And
So
that's hard to see when somebody is not safely living in their home or really want to make a move, yet they're not able to make it happen.
yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
So, good news is there are professionals that will help you do that. If you are listening today and you're thinking, "Ooh, that sounds like me," maybe it's worth calling somebody. And Stephanie probably has some resources, and I know I definitely do. Um, and then, um, do you ever find that seniors are being, well, you mentioned it, that seniors are being pressured to move?
Mhm.
Somebody said, you need to move, you need to do this, you need to do that. How do you, as a senior real estate specialist, go in and kind of jump into that little picture?
Well, I think it's really empowering the senior, um, educating them, talking to them. Um, I found most of the time the seniors are very, very appreciative that you're listening. And not only are you listening, you're hearing what they're saying. So I think empowering them, letting them know about their different options, um, giving them some advice about how they can go back and maybe talk to their family or maybe negotiate or navigate that situation so it's a win-win for everyone.
Yes.
And ultimately there usually becomes a time that people um, decide on their own that they want to embrace a change or they need to embrace a change.
Yes.
I try to teach being very educated and proactive and empower the senior to name that time and name that place and name that situation so that they're in control. It is their life. So
Yes.
ultimately, but I also understand about families, worrying
Yes,
about
it's
that.
it's a whole big picture, and then I feel too that some people who are making that push may not always have the senior's best interest at heart. And I hate to say that, but I
Mhm.
think we need to be honest
Yeah.
about that and bring that out. In some instances, and in some cases, I have heard where a niece and boyfriend or husband or whatever are saying, it's time for you to move out and sign the house over to me. It could be a neighbor who's saying, it's time for you to move. We'd like to have your house, sign it over to me. We'll take over the
Mhm.
whatever. And that's scary to me because I don't know what kind of pressure, if that's some form of abuse. And so we just have to name it for what it is. If it is, then we need to be aware of it. And if it's not, that's fine. But I know seniors. And I know how we get into, because whether you're young or old, you get into ruts in your thinking, and the power of suggestion can be really great. And so now all of a
Mhm.
sudden somebody is suggesting that you move, and you're like, I don't want to. I'm going to get mad about it, or I'm going to really dwell in it. And it really starts to bring you down. So, what a great thing you mentioned early in the podcast about reaching out to a certified senior housing professional. There's a whole website network of senior professionals like this, and they're going to spend the time with you to identify your concerns, your needs, and then help you to navigate beyond that or to feel comfortable where you are for the time being. But at least you've made that connection with that senior. And when they are ready or things change, then they've already done their homework. And we're going to talk about that a little bit when you give your caregiver tip. So you said that we had leveled off on these super high real estate values, that we're kind of in a new place. So can you help us, based on your knowledge and experience of the market in general, what
Mhm.
you're seeing as some trends that are going to be prevalent in 2025?
So, you know, a lot of it we're just now not quite a month into the year yet.
Yes. Okay.
So
Yes. Right. And we have somebody new in the White House. So, all that being said,
exactly. So what I can say I have read and I am experiencing for my my own business is I think that we as realtors and consumers are feeling pretty positive about the real
Good.
estate market. 2024 was the worst year for real estate sales in the last 30 years. Now, I have to back that up and say it for the majority of the agents out there, it was not a good year. Uh, Values were up, prices were moving, or houses were moving quickly, properties. But there wasn't enough transactions. Why wasn't there enough transactions? We still have a housing shortage, and the interest rates played a huge factor in that. So people who still have a mortgage, which is a lot of people, their interest rates could have been as low as 2 and 3%.
Yes.
Current interest rates are 7%. When you apply that differential to the amount of money that you're borrowing, it's a significant difference. And so a lot of people created this log jam based on the interest rates that people weren't willing to give up that low interest rate. Okay. I think people have gotten comfortable or more comfortable now that, okay, these rates are not going to be 2 and 3%. And they've gotten comfortable of where the interest rate percentage is. Historically, 7%, high six is still not a bad rate.
It's pretty average.
Yeah. I mean, first home we bought, my husband and I, it was 10 and a half. In previous years, they had been as high as 18 or 20%.
Yes, I was 16 and three quarters with the
There
3 year
you go.
buy down to 13 and three quarters. And then our next house was an adjustable rate mortgage at 11 and
Mhm.
something. So, yes, been there, done that. And that's what I say. If you
Mhm.
want to move, the interest rates are one thing. You can always refinance down the road when things drop. But you may not see a lower rate for quite a long time. We were a long time before we actually
Yeah.
were able to see a drop in interest rates. So, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely interest rate. And I think one thing you said that was very important, and it lends into more thinking about your home and where you want to be and where you are right now, is that many, many people do not own their homes. That is an assumption, but it is not real, because you and I had this conversation. I said, Stephanie, out of the people that you talk to, is it 90% that own their home? And you said, oh, Linda, no, no, no. What did you tell me? What was your kind of,
Gosh, I don't know what even percentage I said, or if I truly know what that fact is.
but just
But
based on the people.
I'm quite shocked a lot of times when I meet with people that are older than myself and they still have a significant mortgage balance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And that's a factor. And we can't brush it away. It's a significant factor. Any
mhm.
other trends that you think we're going to see?
Um, I read something just this week that I thought was really interesting, that multi-generational home sales are up like 17%. So as we're living longer and with the cost of living and interest rates, more people are going back to, generations living together. And we haven't really seen that in a long time. I know, like maybe my parents uh and their parents and then the grandparents, maybe they did live in some shared space, or the upper, the bottom, or a duplex or something like that. So we're seeing a big increase in multi-generational
Yes.
homes, more builders building floor plans like that. So that's kind of cool, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it serves two purposes, and I have said this. And so, just from the health perspective, I'll weigh in right here is just that I've
Mhm,
been saying that too, Stephanie, because the young ones need childcare, and the older seniors, it frees them up to travel. But it
mhm,
also gives them a space that if their health needs change, that they have the support they need. Because
mhm.
with the number of seniors coming on at the rate that they are, we are not at a place where people can afford care, but there's not going to be as much care in community. It's just not, especially in the long later stages of life where you really need a lot of care. So I validate that sentence 100%. Stephanie, you've been so awesome to visit with my listeners today and let them know what they need to know as they think about entering the real estate market and being up to speed. I know you talk to a lot of people, and I always love to share how people can get a hold of you. So, how can people call you or get in touch with you? What is your phone number? What is your email address?
Yep. So best way is to call my cell phone number, 314-614-9731. That's the best way. Email is my name, Stephanie Parson at kw.com.
Okay.
And one more thing I wanted to mention specifically about St. Louis.
Okay.
Zillow just came out and named St. Louis as one of the hottest real estate markets predicted for 2025. I think we were number 5 or 6.
Super good.
So I'm hoping that that is the case. And it has started out very busy and active in real estate this year.
Wonderful. And I'll put Stephanie's contact information in the show notes, and you're going to want to check out her website and just see her expertise and how much she can help you. And if she can't help you, then she can recommend somebody who can. But
Yeah, for sure.
also, my listeners love caregiver tips. Almost all my listeners are caring for somebody or thinking about or contemplating that role. So,
Mhm.
can you give us your caregiving tip or tips today?
Sure. So, I would say, you know, in all scenarios, whether you're a caregiver or you're the actual, senior, be proactive, be open, ask questions, seek knowledge to learn your options, align yourself with good people who are honest and trustworthy, and do this all in advance so you're not quickly reacting and having to make quick decisions in crisis mode, which typically leads to making poor decisions under pressure. Um, and then, if I can add a real estate kind of tip thing, for those who plan to stay in your home to the end, um, and think that you're going to leave your home to family, ask them, do they really want it?
Mm-hmm.
Many people don't want it, and you're honestly leaving them more with a burden to deal with. So ask your family, would they really want the home? Um, and get rid of your excess stuff. Your kids don't want it. We're very informal now. We don't want the big dining room sets. We don't want the china. So be proactive, deal with it, and give your family
Stephanie's
freedom.
Yeah, you're giving us our permission slip that says it's okay to get rid of the China and the things
Yeah.
that the new generation really is not interested in having or using. And they will even tell you that. So don't take it personally. We've heard it.
Nope.
Stephanie's probably heard it. I think some of my girls had said, "Hey, before you get rid of this, would you just at least ask us?" Okay, fine, I'll do that. And then when they roll their eyes or they look disinterested, then I have my answer and they're just protecting my feelings, which is great. I love it. But yes, we need to get rid of all that. Well, you have been such a help to us today, Stephanie. I can't thank
Aw.
you enough. It's been a pleasure connecting with you. And again, Stephanie's contact information is going to be in the show notes. And I want you to listeners to come back and and listen again next week because there's going to be more education for you so that you can get educated and have what you need to be successful. Thanks again. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember that this podcast is intended as guidance and not advice. Share this podcast with friends and family who are currently in crisis mode or with people who would like to start developing their own roadmap for aging in place. Listeners, if you would like a deeper dive into a topic discussed during a podcast, please subscribe to Aging in Place Strategies and Answers, where you will be able to access premium content. Or if you would like to suggest a topic for this podcast, please contact me at linda.agingstrategies@gmail.com. As always, I value the time you spend with me.